benefit yet to those who've been washed out of house and home. But experts believe the market in carbon dioxide worldwide could soon be worth billions of pounds. And it's only money in the end that will cement the world to practical measures to reducing global warming. David Chater, Sky News.
A man's being held in connection with the theft of the Enigma World War II code-breaking machine.
The 57-year-old from the Derby area was arrested yesterday by National Crime Squad officers. The Enigma machine was stolen at an open day for the former Bletchley Park Decoding Centre. A mystery man demanded a £25,000 ransom, but the machine was then posted to the BBC.
There'll be more problems for rail passengers this weekend. Railtrack's ongoing programme of improvement works means there'll be severe delays on a number of routes. The worst affected areas are likely to be the Midlands, the northwest of England and routes into Scotland.
The parents of murdered toddler James Bulger are expected to attend a Liverpool vigil in his memory today. His two killers, now aged 18, are set for early release after 7 years in prison.
One of the most enduring images of the continuing violence in the Middle East is that of children and teenagers throwing stones at Israeli security forces. Many have been killed as a result of the clashes. Sky's Arnoud van Linden has been to one Palestinian community where families are struggling to keep their children out of the fighting.
Yasser Arafat says he's ordered his men to stop shooting. It's not an order that appears to be heeded in Ramallah. The exchanges yesterday lasted on and off for hours. Israeli missiles slamming into building sites in response to Palestinian sniper fire. Here on a windless day, only fluttering curtains give the gun positions away. Out on the street, in a struggle quite separate from those of the gunmen of either side, the stone throwers, many of them young, some very young, are going about their by now well-rehearsed business. And none of them are armed with anything more menacing than a sling, occasionally a petrol bomb. For the Israeli soldiers, it's hardly a life-threatening confrontation. Ever since this conflict began, the Israeli authorities have accused the Palestinians of using children as a sort of human shield. It is, to put it mildly, a suggestion that should be treated with derision. Yet it's one that continues to infuriate their opponents. In a room overcrowded with mourners, we discover the mother of 15-year-old Sabar Idris, killed by an Israeli bullet this week. She tried to keep him from going. I told him, "You are very small and your stone won't even reach the Israelis," she says. But he replied that even so, all those stones must scare them, otherwise they wouldn't shoot back. Other mothers are quick to join in. Do you really think we send our children out to be killed? 3 days running I've taken taxis to get my children back. But it says much for this Palestinian uprising that even after 7 weeks the children are still going. And Sabar Idris will surely not be the last to die. Arnoud van Linden, Sky News, Ramallah.
Christmas may be more than a month away, but already there are predictions of a toy shortage. High-tech toys could be hardest to find because manufacturers are locked in a battle with mobile phone suppliers. The problem, a dire shortage of microchips.
Parents everywhere are running around in circles trying to find that special Christmas something. There's no shortage of traditional favourites like Barbie, Action Man and Lego, but some of the more high-tech alternatives may not be available at any price.
Thunderbird are go.
Thunderbird Tracy Islands are going from shelves quickly and supplies are low, as are supplies of many other techie toys. The designers at Vivid Imaginations have come up with 3 of this Christmas's predicted top 5 toys, including Tracy Island and Texter the robotic dog. The shortage is caused by a lack of microchips.
The simple reason for that is that Nokia, Motorola and all the big mobile telephone companies are using up all the chips, and there is a massive worldwide surge in demand for microchip products. And unfortunately, the toy industry can't get enough of them, and we're one of the victims of that as well.
With 37 days till Christmas, the rush is on, but for many who haven't yet got that special techie toy, it may already be too late. Gary Cottrell, Sky News.
And there's been an explosion in a high school in the American state of South Dakota.
At least 2 people have been injured and flown to hospital. Officials have been investigating a gas leak at the school in the town of Clankenton. It's thought the explosion took place in the school's boiler room.
The Japanese whaling fleet has set sail for Antarctica to hunt minke whales. Japan says the trip is for scientific research, but campaigners say the move is in defiance of international bans on whaling.
90 people have died in Kenya after drinking a contaminated batch of bootleg alcohol. Hospital staff fear the consignment may have contained methanol, and the death toll may continue to rise.
Counts to be included in the final tally, but the Bush campaign will be doing absolutely everything that they can to prevent it. Tens of thousands of votes at stake, with only a few hundred votes dividing the candidates at the moment. Those votes are the votes that will count.
Still to come here on Sunrise, all the sport with John. And of course, we have the latest on how Luton became the first team in the hat for the second round of the FA Cup.
News counts, but so does what we do with our time. Which is why Sky News lets you choose the news you want when you want it.
There's a good deal of rain around. This rain is heavy.
So you can be sure of reliable, concise and up-to-the-minute coverage wherever you are. Now the latest breaking news is only seconds away, whether you choose to watch or surf. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The government's been put on a 60-day notice.
Sky News. News on demand.
Yes, that's right. Was your accident in the last 3 years? You were injured as a result of your accident? OK, then Claims Direct could help you. Let me take down some details.
If you've had an injury at work as the driver or passenger in a car accident or a trip or fall anywhere, then call Claims Direct now, because you could be entitled to compensation. We've helped thousands of people who've been injured in accidents, people just like you, and right from your very first call, our dedicated staff are ready to assist you. Brian Sharp called Claims Direct after his accident. The help he received has meant a lot to him and his family. He was awarded just over £6,000. Remember, we can underwrite the total cost of making your claim. If we're not successful, you don't pay us a penny. So don't delay. If you've been injured, call Claims Direct now to find out if you could be entitled to compensation. Phone Claims Direct free on 0800 44 8804. Remember, this could be the most important call you make today. Call now.
This Christmas, your free gift, the choice is yours. Will you ask for a free bottle of Lanson Black Label Champagne? Or will you have 6 free bottles of a selected Ernest and Giulio Gallo wine? Or will you choose from one of these complimentary 1-litre bottles of spirit? Choose your free gift when you book a fully flexible 24-hour car day trip from Dover to Calais with P&O Stena Line. Plus, book online and save £5. The choice is yours.
We've got to get some wrapping paper.
With a free CD player when you buy the Motorola T180 phone at $39.99. You may forget what you went in for.
Wrapping paper.
Woolworths. Well worth it this Christmas.
John's here now with all the sport.
Fiona, thank you. Good morning to you. Football to come in just a second, but first this lunchtime score from Lahore this morning, which makes good reading for the England captain Nasser Hussain. Let's show you where his bowlers have left the Pakistani innings on day 4 at the lunch interval, and for England at least a much healthier state of affairs after what was 2 hours of toil, and at one stage it looked as if it was going to be fruitless toil this morning. It looked as if Pakistan might just make it through to the lunchtime interval unscathed, but then came the breakthrough.
With only 10 wickets having fallen on the first 3 days, England always knew they faced a big challenge to claim another 18 in the 2 remaining days, and for the first 2 hours this morning they toiled without reward. The batsman, and in particular Inzamam, looking in command. His junior partner Salim Alahi was less dominant, but still had plenty of time to play his shots. If it was all too frustrating for Nasser Hussain, his mood would have darkened even more when he put down the first chance of the day. Alahi edging Ashley Giles when on 38, Hussain uncharacteristically spilling it. Inzamam continued merrily on his way to another Test 50, his cavalier manner infuriating Andy Caddick. And then the breakthrough. Craig White, who'd impressed in his first spell, came back for a second and immediately removed Elahi for 44, reverse swing inducing the inside edge. Just 4 runs later, Giles got his man, the key wicket of Inzamam, totally deceived in the flight and bowled off his pad. And on the stroke of lunch, a 3rd wicket. White again the bowler, Kaiser Abbas the batsman, Hick the fielder. England in buoyant mood at the break. Charlie Thomas, Sky News.
To the football and Derby, the word on everyone's lips in the Premiership today. In the first one, Manchester City fans know that their revival in fortunes will have meant nothing if they don't do well against Manchester United in the Derby. And this 11:30 kick-off this morning, an early one at Main Road. And among the other Premiership fixtures there, November it may be, but that Derby County are already in the heat of a relegation battle. Games this season won't come any more important than today's with bottom of the table Bradford City. But as for Manchester United supporters, they've had plenty to crow about in recent years. Not so their opposition today. One die-hard City supporter, the comedian Eddie Large, says his love for City is no joke.
I lived through Manchester, through the good days of the 60s, when we worked with United fans, half United, half City, and it was great. And when the both teams were doing well at that period, the town was really buzzing then. And you're dead right, it would be great for the town if we win about 7-0.
That's not going to happen, is it?
Why not? They said we wouldn't win 5-1, but we did. Said we wouldn't beat Leeds, but we did. Said we wouldn't beat Gillingham, but we did. Said we wouldn't beat Wickham, we didn't actually.
But this is the one that matters.
Oh, not half, yeah. I saw a quote from the City goalie saying, our fans would be happy if we win this one and lose every other match. He's dead right.
That's one Derby match. There's also a north-eastern derby today at St James's Park. Newcastle United against Sunderland. Peter Reid up against the man who gave him his England debut, Bobby Robson. And both men are expecting the game to be a full-blooded affair.
We all know we're fierce rivals, and it shows. It shows. I mean, I want it to be a good football match, and hopefully we come out on top. But it's up there with the best, without a doubt. I'm par with it. I mean, I was at my first Old Firm one, and that was lively, but don't come any lively than Sunderland and Newcastle.
Celtic's 100% record in Scotland this season is going to be tested today by Hearts. The Edinburgh side still coping without a full-time manager since Jim Jeffries resigned, but Martin O'Neill is not taking anything for granted.
Had them watched last week, and the reports were that they played very strongly indeed. And I suppose it was a case of one of two things: either going out feeling sorry for themselves and deciding that this is not for us, or go out and being very positive, which they were, and deserve to win the game. I think that they'll be very positive against us.
Second Division Luton Town have become the first team to reach the draw for the second round of this season's FA Cup. This is the reason why non-league Rushden and Diamond gave them a few scares in their first round tie last night at Kenilworth Road, but this goal from Liam George early in the second half was enough for Luton Town. It was the cool finish as well, and that was his 4th of the season, so Luton go through to the draw for the next round.